Have you ever felt like you're the only one trying to do the right thing in a world that has gone completely off the rails? Well, let me tell you a story about a man who knew that feeling all too well. His name was Noah. Thousands of years ago, the world was a wild place. Humanity had spiraled into chaos and wickedness, and it grieved God to see what his creation had become. He saw all the corruption and decided it was time for a reset, a do-over. But amidst all the noise, there was one person who stood out: Noah. The Bible says Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time. And he walked faithfully with God. So God came to Noah with a monumental task, an unbelievable construction project. He said, "Noah, I'm going to bring a great flood to destroy everything on earth. I want you to build a massive ark, a giant boat." And God gave him the exact blueprints: make it out of cypress wood, coated inside and out with pitch, 300 cubits long, 50 wide, and 30 high. That's about 450 feet long, the size of a modern cargo ship. He was also to build 3 decks and a window. It was a crazy request, but Noah didn't question it. He trusted God. Then came the next part of the plan. God told Noah to bring his wife, his 3 sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives into the ark. But they wouldn't be alone. He was to gather 2 of every kind of living creature, male and female, from the birds of the sky to the animals that move along the ground. Can you imagine the logistics? Herding, corralling, and somehow fitting pairs of every animal onto this wooden vessel. It must have looked like the world's most chaotic parade. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. For years, Noah and his family must have worked, sawing wood, hammering, and gathering provisions while their neighbors likely mocked them, building a giant boat in the middle of dry land. It sounded insane, but Noah kept his faith. Finally, the day came. The last pair of animals boarded. Noah and his family entered the ark, and God himself shut the door behind them. Then, the sky opened up. It wasn't just rain. The springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Water poured down for 40 days and 40 nights. Relentlessly, the water rose higher and higher, covering the hills, then the tallest mountains. Everything on dry land, every person, every animal not on the ark, was swept away. Only Noah and those with him were safe, floating on the churning waters. For 150 days, the ark drifted on a world covered by a vast ocean. Imagine the sounds, the smells, the feeling of being completely at the mercy of the waves. But inside, life continued. Finally, the waters began to recede. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Still, they waited. Noah was patient. After 40 days, he sent out a raven, which flew back and forth. Then he sent out a dove, but it returned, finding no place to land. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again. This time, it returned in the evening with a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. It was a sign. Life was returning to the earth. After another 7 days, he sent the dove out, and it did not return. Slowly, the ground dried. After more than a year inside the ark, God said, "Come out of the ark, you and your family. Bring out every kind of living creature. Be fruitful and multiply on the earth." As they stepped onto dry land, the first thing Noah did was build an altar and give thanks to God for their survival. God was pleased and made a covenant, a solemn promise, not just with Noah, but with all of humanity and every living creature. He said, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans. And never again will I destroy all living creatures with a flood." And as a sign of this everlasting promise, he set a rainbow in the clouds. So every time we see a rainbow, it's a beautiful reminder of God's promise of hope and a fresh start. From Noah's 3 sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the entire world was repopulated. The generations spread out, forming nations and peoples across the face of the earth, each with their own story, all tracing their lineage back to that one family who survived the great flood. It's an incredible story of faith, obedience, and the promise of a new beginning. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, hit that like button and subscribe to my Bible and Pictures on YouTube for more amazing stories from the Bible. See you next time.